Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining my channel. So today we have got a really interesting story that's been making headlines, and honestly, I think it's one of those situations where the headline doesn't tell the whole story. And at first glance, it sounds like Malcolm-Jamal Warner's widow is suing his mother for more than 1.2 million. And once you hear that, naturally, a lot of people are going to immediately start questioning why she would do something like that or how could she do that to her mother-in-law. But once you look into publicly available court filings and reportings, the situation is much more complicated than it appears. I can tell you right now that this isn't just a family dispute over an inheritance. This actually centers around promises that were allegedly included in Malcolm's prenuptial agreement. So according to the lawsuit, this issue centers around promises that were allegedly included in Malcolm's prenuptial agreement, promises that his widow says were never fulfilled before his unexpected passing. So today we're going to walk through exactly what's being claimed, why Malcolm's mother is named in the lawsuit, what the legal arguments appear to be, and what could happen next. So before we get started, I do want to mention that everything we're discussing today is based on publicly available court documents, and I will be reporting from outlets including People Magazine, TMZ, and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So these are allegations made in a lawsuit and have not been proven in court. Malcolm's mother has not publicly responded yet to these specific allegations. So as always, it's important to hear both sides before we draw any conclusions. So for anyone who may not be familiar, Malcolm-Jamal Warner was best known for playing Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, and he tragically passed away in July 2025 after an accidental drowning while on vacation in Costa Rica. He was just 54 years old. So for about a whole year, the family remained completely out of the public eye. We didn't hear anything from anyone as they grieved. So it's very shocking to me and to a lot of people that on the first anniversary of Malcolm's passing, news broke that his widow, Tanisha Warner, had filed a lawsuit seeking more than $1.2 million. Like me and many others out there, I was completely shocked. I'm like, what can this possibly be about? At first heard it and was like, ooh, this does not look good. Many people assumed that this was just a widow trying to sue her late husband's family for money. But after looking into the details, that is not exactly what she's claiming. So according to People Magazine and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Tanisha alleges that before they married in May 2022, she and Malcolm signed a prenuptial agreement that outlined several financial commitments that Malcolm allegedly agreed to provide during their marriage. Now, a prenuptial agreement is simply a legal contract between two people before they get married. Most people think that prenups only protect the wealth in the event of a divorce, but they can also include promises and financial obligations that both parties agree to while they're married. So according to the lawsuit, Tanisha claims several of those obligations were never completed. So the largest claim involves a $1 million life insurance policy. She alleges that Malcolm agreed to maintain a life insurance policy, naming her as the sole beneficiary. He named her as the sole beneficiary, but she claims that policy was never secured. In addition to that, the lawsuit alleges that she is owed approximately $50,000 related to anniversary payments outlined in the agreement, around $30,000 involving a Roth IRA contribution, and approximately $195,000 in unpaid salary because she allegedly served as Malcolm's chief of staff during their marriage. So when everything is all added up, you do the calculation along with other requested damages, the lawsuit totals just over dollars. Now, 1.2 million. Now, here's where many people became confused. So we're like, okay, that's regarding her and Malcolm and the estate and whatnot. So why is Malcolm's mother being sued instead of Malcolm's estate? This is probably the biggest misunderstanding surrounding the whole entire case. According to the lawsuit, Malcolm created a family trust years before he even met Tanisha. Before they said hello, before going on a date, he created this trust years before. So his mother, Pamela Warner, now serves as the trustee of that trust. And if you don't know what a trustee is simply the person that's responsible for managing all the assets inside the trust. And they're the ones who make the decisions according to the trust's legal terms. So according to the lawsuit, Pamela is not necessarily being sued personally. Rather, she is being named in her role as the trustee because Tanisha is allegedly asking the court to require payment from the trust itself. So according to court filings, Tanisha also believes that Malcolm's estate may not contain enough assets to satisfy what she says she's owed under that original prenuptial agreement. Because of that, she is asking the court to prevent any assets from being distributed from the trust until the case is resolved. In other words, she's asking the judge to temporarily pause any distributions while the lawsuit moves through the legal system. Now, that doesn't mean she's going to automatically win. Like, we have no idea what's going to happen, but this is where the legal questions begin. So generally speaking, trusts are often created specifically to protect assets and to keep them separate from someone's probate estate. One major question the court may eventually have to answer is whether obligations that were allegedly created under that original prenuptial agreement can legally reach assets held inside a separate family trust. Another question is whether those obligations survived Malcolm's passing or whether they ended with him. So those are legal questions the court will have to ultimately decide. So it's important to remember that at this stage, we're only hearing one side of the story, and the lawsuit reflects Tanisha's allegations. And those allegations have not yet been proven, and Malcolm's mother has yet to present her side of everything. Both sides will have the opportunity to present their evidence before a judge before makes any decisions. Another reason this story has captured so much attention is because there is a young child involved. Yes. So Malcolm and Tanisha share a daughter together, and some people online have immediately criticized Tanisha for actually filing the lawsuit in the first place. And a lot of people have immediately criticized Tanisha for filing the lawsuit in the first place. And then you have the other half who believes she's simply just trying to protect her financial obligations. She believes were intended for both herself and their daughter. This case is less about inheritance, and I think it's more about whether an alleged contract agreement or contractual obligation should still be enforced after someone's death. And those are two very different issues. And I hate to say it, but as difficult as this story is, it is also a reminder of why estate planning can be so important. So whether someone has significant wealth or just simply owns a home, any type of retirement accounts, life insurance, we want to make sure all of our legal documents are current. This can avoid so many challenges for our loved ones once we transition. Let's make it easier for the ones who have to stay here on Earth, okay? So from now on, we'll have to wait and see how this case unfolds. I'm going to stay up to date. You find out something, you let me know down in the comments below. So if you enjoy breakdowns, celebrity news, lawsuits, settlements, any breaking stories out there, do not forget to like and subscribe to this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Bye.